welcome to the Webcast for Monday, February 23rd. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite this morning shows partly cloudy skies with mainly just thin, high-level cirrus clouds drifting through central and southern California. We'll see those high clouds hang around throughout the day, but they should still allow for plenty of sunshine in most areas. Water vapor satellite shows a ridge of high pressure building over the western United States, with deep troughing well to our west across the Pacific. You can really visualize the contrast between those two features, and as often happens, right in between the ridge and the trough, we see a region of significant moisture. That's an atmospheric river, and it's going to be a factor for northern portions of the region over the next couple of days. As we look briefly through the upper air maps for this week, we can see that by far the more dominant feature is going to be that strengthening ridge and not the offshore trough. As a result, that's going to keep that atmospheric river aimed pretty far to the north and bring a dry and warm week to most of the region. Central California will be the exception, particularly the Sierra region, where areas from Fresno County and especially north of there will see steady rainfall from Tuesday into Wednesday, tapering off by Wednesday night. Any rainfall will be much lighter and more scattered on the central coast, and Southern California will stay dry entirely. In terms of rain totals, again, it's a non-event for most of us, but actually a fairly robust one for the Sierra and certainly into Northern California. Rainfall totals of 1/2 inch to 2 inches will be common from Fresno County northward, with much higher totals across Northern California where the brunt of the atmospheric river will impact. Snow levels with this storm will be extremely high. It is a very warm, subtropical atmospheric river, and precipitation may fall as rain even across the highest peaks of the Sierra. However, flooding is not likely to be a major concern, both because the totals themselves aren't too exceptionally heavy, and because the recent snowpack will be able to absorb a lot of this rain without too much melting. Outside of that storm, the other main story this week will be the dry and increasingly warm weather across the rest of the region, especially Southern California. Here's a look at today's forecast highs, continuing the steady warming trend of recent days with some low 80s showing up in the coastal valleys. And take a look at the numbers by Friday, which will probably be the warmest day overall. We'll see highs well into the 80s across the coastal valleys, and check out those low deserts breaking into the 90s for the first time this season. Winds will be very light in most cases today. A steadier onshore flow pattern will develop Tuesday as that storm passes to our north, and westerly winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour and locally higher will surface across the mountain ridges and desert passes Tuesday evening through Thursday morning. Those breezy onshore winds will help keep us from getting too dry this week. Minimum humidity will be mainly in the 15 to 30% range away from the San Joaquin Valley for most of this week. By this weekend, most signals are that a weak trough or a cutoff area of low pressure will approach the California coast and potentially move inland over the region. As this happens, significant cooling and moistening may begin across the region as early as Saturday, but more likely by Sunday or even next Monday. This system may bring some showery weather early next week, but does not look like a major storm, and right now there aren't any major storm signals showing up heading through at least most of the first half of March. In the meantime, dead fuel moistures will be on steady falling trends this week as we dry out from our recent wet pattern. With plenty of moisture in the soil and the days steadily getting longer, the warm weather this week should encourage strong growth in the vegetation and will likely see live fuel moisture shoot up substantially, along with significant grass growth over the next couple of weeks. That green up will continue to keep our significant fire potential at negligible levels, likely at least through the entirety of March, regardless of weather conditions. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, February 25th.